Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have had an awesome week. Today we're going to talk about my puppies. We're going to talk about the day we got them and just everything that we had to do to prepare to have them, right? So when we got, first of all, backstory, I think this was a couple weeks after I actually arrived to Florida, and it was awesome. But I noticed that when I was home, I didn't really have a whole lot going on. Like, it was literally like I would go to work, come home from work, clean, fold clothes, work on school, and then I wouldn't have anything to do. And I kid you not, it's not like that anymore. I am always busy because I have them. I have to go and, get their food together, give them baths, make sure they're not destroying things, stuff like that, right? So, yeah, anyway. So, our family friends invited us to because at this point, like I said, this was back in October 2021. And we got invited by our family friends to this event. It was an adoption event, but it was also kind of like people who already had dogs. It was like a costume contest for the dogs, and I thought that was so amazing. And we didn't have anything going on, so we were just like, why not, Our friend was like, oh my gosh, they have puppies here, right? So we were like, oh my goodness, like, that's pretty cool. Like, let's go check them out. Because I personally just want to see the puppies. I'm like, I had puppy fever at that point. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just want to see puppies, okay? That's all I want to do. We don't have to get any, I just want to see them, right? So we got there, and it was actually pretty cool. Like, it was awesome to be able to see all the dogs that were there, in their costumes. I was cracking up with, like, some of the costumes. Like, there's this one golden lab that literally had on a tennis outfit. I was like, what is going on? It was the cutest thing ever. But yeah, just stuff like that, cute little things like that. And I just wanted to get out and explore, so we went. There were like several different crates, and there were like different types of dogs, right? So there were a lot of Kalahua type dogs, or there were a lot of the breed Kalahua. And they were beautiful dogs. There were so many different colors, and they were so, small. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And you should have heard their little yelps. They were so cute. There were people there that already had, like, dogs in their hand. And I saw one that I was just like, that's cute. That dog is cute. But I felt bad because I'm like, I'm not going to take the dog from the little boy. It was a little boy that was holding it. I was like, I'm not going to take the dog from the little boy and be like, this is my dog. Like, I wasn't going to do that to him. But it ended up working out because, so at this point, I'm looking around. I don't want to say I'm introverted, but I also don't want to say I'm extroverted because I'm a little bit of both. When I was there, I didn't want to just rush in and like be like, oh, let me see the dog that you're already holding. Like, I didn't want to be like that, right? I didn't want to be rude. So I was like trying to, feel for the dogs that were still in their crates and they weren't with anybody. So I went up to the Kalahuas and I, put my finger in there and I was just like, hey, how you doing? And they were just like playing with each other. Like, I don't give a crap about you, human. Get out of my face. So I was just like, okay. So Josh is inside getting drinks, which was cool. And I just was like, I need him to come out here so we can kind of discuss some things. Because I was just like, these dogs are awesome. Like, they're so cute. But out of the corner of my eye, because they were so different than the rest of the dogs, were these two white dogs, right? Two white dogs over in the corner in their crate. And mind you, this was an outside event. All the other dogs were brown and black and, brown with like spots and everything, all the other colors, right? These dogs were white. So, and nobody was really over there by them. So I'm like, okay. And on top of that, they were a little bigger than the rest of them. So I figured, maybe they were a little bit older. Anyway, they were a little bit bigger than the rest of the dogs. So it's just like, okay, maybe people didn't want them because they were like, these dogs are already too old. I don't know. They weren't that big now that I look back at it because they're huge now. But yeah, at 5 months, they're huge now. So back then, they were really small to us. So I saw them and I went over to them. I put my little finger in there. You bite it? You bite it? You bite it? They were like, oh my gosh. They were like, you know, giving me kisses and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, my heart. And I noticed that Rambo's paws were a little different at first. I thought it was just more like a, you know, he was leaning a little bit on purpose because he was in the crate with his brother and it was, you know, a smaller crate, so they were just trying to share space. So then Josh comes out and he's like looking, he sits down with me and he's just like, yeah, I saw them when I came over here. I have my eye on them. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, Josh, we might be leaving this place with the dog, right? Because, like I said, at this point, we didn't have any, like, notion that we were actually going to get a dog. We didn't even really go there for a dog. We didn't have anything for a dog. We didn't have food, leashes, collars. We didn't have bowls. We didn't have anything. Beds, crates, nothing. We didn't have anything here because we were not planning on getting a dog this day until we got there. And we were just like, oh my gosh, like, oh my goodness. So we were sitting there and we were talking to this amazing woman who was there. She said that she had a dogo at home. And it was like, what? Like, so we were sitting there, we were having this conversation with her. She was just like, you know, talking about how her dog was and like the different things that he goes through and, you know, the different things that he's done and since they've had him as a puppy. And so she was also like along the lines of kind of just being like, you might as well go ahead and get him because you know you want him. And everybody else was like that too. Our family friends were like, are you guys gonna get them? They're so cute. Get them, get them, get them. And we're just like, we're thinking about it. I think it's gonna happen. Like, yeah. It was like a lot going on emotionally, but it was awesome, you know, like in a good way. So we asked if we could take them out of their crates, and this was like, I will never forget this. This is the funniest thing ever. So I was holding who now is named Rambo, and Josh was holding who now is named Noah. And awesome, okay? It was awesome. Like, we held them, and I realized when we let them out of the crate that Rambo did have an issue with his paws. He was doing this thing called knuckling, and if you know anything about that, it can be very disturbing. It doesn't look, it looks like they're in, not even looks like, I know for a fact that our boy, when he did that, he was in a lot of pain, okay? He could barely walk, you know, he wasn't taking very many steps. Like, he literally came out of the crate, walked, like, knuckled over to my lap and, like, pretty much laid down. That was, like, his little walk for the day. But, like I was saying, that didn't really bother me. I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was paying attention to, like, how we were all interacting, both Noah and Rambo, me and Josh, like, how it was all just going down. Rambo, this is how he got his name, too. He was so rambunctious. He was just like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, he was all over the place. Even with his little knuckling issue, he was, like, so energetic, like, all over the place, bouncing around like he couldn't be still. And he ended up biting my nipple. This event, going back, like, we sat down to do our schoolwork, me and Josh, and then we looked at the time, and it was, like, time to be there. Like, the thing had already started. So, why did I say that? I don't even remember why I just said what you said. Oh. So yeah, the thing, it was like now happening at that moment. And so I didn't put on a bra. Mind you, it didn't really matter because you couldn't really tell that I didn't have on a bra. But the little booger bit my nipple. I was like, what the heck? how dare you? Like, he was sitting in my lap and he just was like, ow. I was like, ouch, ouch. Like, you was biting my nipple. And I was like, I've never ever, like, in a million years figured that would ever happen to me. That's so funny. So that's how he got his name, Rambunctious. Yeah, so his full name, Rambunctious Tyler Freeman. And he is very rambunctious. Like, even to this day, like, sometimes when you're trying to, like, just hug him or something, even though he loves to cuddle, when he's, like, in the mood to, like, play, he's just, like, he's all over the place. And it's just like, chill. Just chill, buddy. Chill out. Chill out. You're going crazy. You're going crazy. So, yeah. And then with Noah, he was chilling. Like, he was, and that's why his name isn't Rambunctious. He was just chilling. And we didn't have names for them at this point. We were just kind of like discussing if we really wanted to get them, because we were like, if we get them, this is going to be a major life change. You know, like, having puppies, it's not easy. Like, it can be very hard sometimes, especially with how expensive they can get, and pooping and peeing and just like everything. Like, it's like your whole entire life changes. It's like, we don't have any children, but I imagine that when you have children, this is kind of what it's like, you know, having to constantly watch this little person, this little dog, you know, right? I feel like that they kind of correlate in some ways. So yeah, we were sitting there discussing it, like, should we get them? Like, I think we should do it. He was like, I kind of want both of them. I wasn't really sure if I wanted both of them. I did really like them both, but I wasn't sure because I'm just like, I've never owned a puppy, let alone a dog. The closest to owning a dog that me and my family have ever had is mostly just like that neighborhood dog, the dog that came to our house from like who knows where, and we like started feeding it and like, you know, giving it baths and doing what we needed to do to make sure it was good to go. But like, that was like the closest we had to a dog. And even then, the dog ended up going somewhere else, right? So I've never owned a dog. Josh's family has owned dogs, but this was the first time it was like just him and just me, you know? So we were sitting there like, yeah, like, I think we can do it, you know? Like, this is gonna be a lot, but I think we got it, right? And he was like, I want to give them both. And I was like, you know what? That's actually awesome, because I think they need each other, right? They were in the same crate, and we were just like, we didn't want to separate them because they were the last two. They were the last two doggos, right? When we were talking to the people who were putting them up for adoption, they were like, yeah. We were like, what kind of dogs are these? And they were like, yeah, they're Argentinian doggos. And we were like, oh, okay. So we were just like, you know, didn't know anything about this breed. We're just like, what's an Argentinian doggo? Because if you look at the word D-O-G-O, you're like, yeah, doggo, right? And we started like in that moment, because we didn't know what kind of dogs they were, we started looking up stuff real fast, like how, you know, what their lifespan is, how big they become, what's their temperament, all that good stuff. Like, we were trying to get like really fast knowledge, like real quick. But yeah, we ended up getting them, which was awesome. We already had the name for Rambunctious, and then we ended up getting the name Noah. So, pause, let me go back. So after we told them that we wanted to get both of them, we ended up, you know, paying like the adoption fees and all the stuff we needed to do for them. We picked out a little costume for them and a leash and a collar that didn't fit their necks yet. And it was pretty cool, like, it was awesome. We ended up having to leave Rambo with the people that we adopted him from because he still had his knuckling issue and he needed to go to the vet first to, you know, make sure that, you know, he was okay to come home with us first. So we actually didn't bring him home that same day. Noah, though, we took him over to the little picnic tables and everything for the other stuff to go down, like the costume contest and stuff. And we were like sitting there, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, you got him!" Because we were like, "Yeah, we ended up getting him." And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, like, what'd you name him?" And we're just like, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. Like, what should we name him? So we were just sitting there with each other, and then we're just like listening to suggestions, and we're just like, and I'm just like, you know what? I just literally said the first name that came to my mind, Noah. And then Josh was like, I actually like that. So that's how he got his name, Noah and Rambo. So Noah Jermaine Freeman and Rambunctious Tyler Freeman are our dog's full names. And you can follow them on Instagram at nrf.dogo. I like to post pictures of them because, listen, my phone has more. I have more pictures in my phone right now of them than I do of myself, and it's crazy. And you can ask Josh. Like, I have so many pictures in my phone, it's freaking ridiculous. But yeah, so we took Noah to the pet store and everything like that, so that we could get food and a bed and leashes and collars, and we needed to get all these things, towels and blankets and food bowls and water bowls, and we needed to get all of this stuff because we did not have anything. And it was just like, wow. Like, we still, after that trip, didn't even have everything because we were just like, we gotta get crates for them. Pretty much we were just like, what do we do? We were borrowing our family friend's crate. So yeah, didn't have a whole lot of stuff. We didn't have anything for them. And so after we left the event, we had to go buy this stuff for them because we didn't have anything for them. It was just like, well, we can't have dogs without the stuff that they need. And then we got home, and it was awesome because we were like, oh my gosh, welcome home, buddy. It was like the most amazing moment, like being able to bring him into the house. And he was just like, what's all this? And he got so excited and started, running around, doing what he did. Eventually we picked him up, though. We had to give him a bath just because we were just like, we want you to be clean, nice and cleaned up. And his nails were sharp as I don't know what. Like, those things were like like what the heck? They were like little razor blades, literally. But yeah. So then a couple days later, we ended up getting Rambo, and it was so awesome because like we picked him up, we brought him home. Like, he laid in my lap, both of them actually. Well, actually no. Noah laid in Josh's lap and we drove home, and Rambo laid in my lap when we drove back home. And so, since they were on different days, Rambo was so cute, and I was just like, oh my god, so cool. Like, he's my boy, but they're both my boys, but Rambo and me have like a little more of a bond. But yeah, we brought him home, and we were just like, hi buddy, surprise, like, there's your brother, the one you were in the crate with. And they kind of just like looked at each other for a little bit, like, what's happening? Am I being pranked? It was like something like that. And then next thing you know, they were playing with each other, and I was just like, OMG. And we still only had one crate at this point that we were borrowing. Literally, the crate door was open, and Rambo like snuggled his little self into the crate, got into bed, and laid there and was looking around like, whatever, right? And then, eventually, like at night, until we got another crate, we ended up just kind of making sure that they couldn't go very far. We kept them in the generalized area, blocked off and everything. When we opened the door, Rambo's paused. Like, he needed to be able to just chill, right, at that point. So we would open up the crate door in the morning or whatever, and I kid you not, even if we were just, because like they say, like, when you have a dog, whenever they wake up from a nap or whenever they wake up from sleep, let them go outside so they can use the bathroom. This boy would literally get up and knuckle himself over to the food bowl, check to see if something was in it. If nothing was in it, he would go back to the crate and get in the bed. And I'm just like, you were the cutest thing ever, but you gotta go use the bathroom. There's no food, you little chunky monkey self. So I can put a clip of and show you guys how he used to be with his knuckling issue. But I will assure you though, he is a lot better now. He does not have that issue anymore. He is completely fine. So I know it can be a little like heart-wrenching because it's like, it was very painful for him. Like, you could tell like he couldn't really walk very long. But I do have a clip of him when he actually got to walk with his paws regular for the first time, got to run, got to do a zuni for the first time in his whole life. But that's for another time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for staying and watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. And yeah, bye.